Listen up, because I'm about to drop a bomb on your lazy ass that's going to shatter the illusion you've been hiding behind. You think your comfort zone is a cozy little nest where you can scroll through life, binge, watch Netflix, and pretend you're safe. Wrong. Dead wrong. The brutal truth about the comfort zone is that it's not a refuge. It's a goddamn prison, a velvet-lined cage designed to keep you weak, broke, and irrelevant. I'm Andrew Tate, and I've clawed my way out of that trap to build an empire, and today I'm here to drag you out with me if you have the balls to listen. Picture this. Every day you wake up and choose the easy path, staying in that dead-end job because it's stable, hitting snooze instead of grinding in the gym, or settling for a relationship that's comfortable but soul-crushing. That's the lie of the comfort zone whispering in your ear, telling you it's okay to be average. But let me hit you with the first brutal truth: comfort kills dreams faster than any bullet. I've seen it in fighters who quit after one loss, in entrepreneurs who fold when the first bill hits, in men who let their fire die because it's easier to numb out with porn and pizza. You stay comfortable, and life passes you by like a Ferrari on the highway while you're stuck in traffic on a bicycle. Hook yourself on this the moment you stop growing, you start dying. Your muscles atrophy, your bank account stagnates, and your spirit withers. I've been there, broken a basement scraping by, but I chose war over weakness, and now I live like a king. What's your excuse? Now, let's get real about why people cling to this poison like a security blanket. Fear, plain and simple. The comfort zone is fear's best friend, masking itself as safety while it robs you blind. You fear failure, so you don't start that business. You fear rejection, so you don't approach that high-value woman. You fear pain, so you skip the cold showers and the early mornings. But here's the savage reality: growth only happens on the edge, where the discomfort bites like a rabid dog. I built my Bugattis and my freedom by embracing the grind, training until my hands bled, negotiating deals that could bankrupt me, staring down critics who called me crazy. The brutal truth: comfort is for the slaves, the ones content with chains disguised as routine. Real men, top Gs, they thrive in the chaos. They wake up hungry, push through the burn, and emerge stronger. If you're nodding along, but still sitting on your couch, ask yourself, are you a lion or a sheep? Because sheep get slaughtered in the comfort zone while lions conquer the world. Don't get it twisted. Escaping isn't a vacation, it's a brutal war against your own bullshit. Start small. If you have to ditch the excuses, hit the weights. Read a book that challenges your weak mind instead of doom scrolling. But commit fully or don't bother. I've mentored men who broke free and became unstoppable, stacking wins like I do, but others, they slink back to their zone, bitter and alone. The truth hurts, but it's your wake-up call. Comfort zones breed regret. Regret for the physique you never built, the wealth you never claimed, the legacy you never left. Rise above it, brother. Demand more from yourself. The world's full of comfortable corpses, walking around pretending to live. Don't be one of them. Imagine this: you're lounging in your favorite armchair, the remote in hand, the glow of the screen casting shadows on your untapped potential. It feels safe, doesn't it? That cozy routine, waking up at noon, scrolling through endless feeds, grabbing takeout because cooking takes effort. It's like a warm blanket wrapped around your dreams, slowly tightening into a noose. Wake up to this brutal reality: comfort isn't your protector. It's the silent assassin of ambition, suffocating every spark of greatness before it can blaze into something legendary. Andrew Tate, the man who turned a kickboxing ring into a global empire, didn't rise by embracing ease. He shattered it, charging headfirst into the inferno of challenge where real winners are forged. And you, if you're still hiding in that velvet trap, ask yourself, how long will you let this poison drip into your veins until your ambitions lie cold and forgotten? Think about the mechanics of it all. Comfort zones operate like a well-oiled machine of mediocrity, programmed to keep you compliant and contained. Every time you choose the path of least resistance, skipping the gym for just one more episode, staying in a soul-draining job because it's predictable, or avoiding that bold conversation that could unlock new doors, you're feeding the beast. It's a slow poison, insidious and unrelenting, eroding your drive drop by drop. Your body softens, your mind dulls, and your vision blurs until the grand plans you once sketched in the dead of night become nothing more than dusty relics. I've seen it in boardrooms and gyms alike sharp. Hungry individuals who arrive full of fire only to wither under the allure of routine. They trade their edge for stability, and before they know it, ambition isn't just killed. It's buried alive, clawing futilely from 6 feet under. Hook into this truth: the comfort zone doesn't just stall you. It reverses your trajectory, turning potential titans into complacent shadows. Tate himself clawed out of basements and broke through barriers that would crush lesser men, proving that empires aren't built on cushions. They're constructed in the crucible of discomfort. Now, let's paint a vivid picture to drive it home. Envision a lion in the wild. Does it lounge eternally in the shade, content with scraps? No, it prowls, hunts, and battles through thorns and tempests to claim its throne. That's the raw essence of ambition, unfiltered and fierce. Yet here you are, perhaps, mirroring the house cat, pampered, predictable, and profoundly limited. The cozy routine whispers lies of security, but it's a facade masking stagnation. Consider the entrepreneurs Tate mentors, those who ditch 9 to 5 chains to launch ventures that terrify them. They sweat through sleepless nights, pivot from failures that sting like open wounds, and emerge not just surviving, but dominating. Comfort would have kept them chained to desks, dreaming of someday, but they chose the fire. And what about you? That side hustle you've been mulling over, the fitness goal-gathering dust, the network you've yet to build, each delayed by the siren song of ease. Here's your hook. Every second you linger in comfort, you're not pausing ambition, you're executing it, one lazy choice at a time. Tate's life screams this lesson. He didn't lounge his way to Bugattis and influence. He ignited his inner warrior by ditching the ease that once confined him. Fuel that warrior now, because the alternative is a life of quiet desperation, where days blend into a monotonous haze. Professional success demands you confront the suffocation head-on, audit your habits, eliminate the cushions that cradle weakness, and step into arenas that test your limits. Tate's blueprint is clear. Charge into what scares you, because that's where ambition resurrects, stronger and unbreakable. Ditch the ease today. Let the discomfort awaken the conqueror within, ready to seize what mediocrity forfeits. That nagging whisper in your ear, the one cooing, stay safe. Don't risk it, isn't wisdom. It's fear slithering in like a shadow, wrapping chains around your ankles and dragging you deeper into the quicksand of mediocrity. Wake up to this savage hook. Fear isn't your guardian angel, it's the devil's advocate, disguised as caution, ensuring you never soar because it keeps you grounded in the mud of what-ifs and maybes. Andrew Tate, the unbreakable force who faced down arenas of doubt and emerged as a titan, knows this intimately. He stared into the abyss of bankruptcy, ignored the jeers of critics, calling him a madman, and charged forward anyway, forging an empire from the flames of his own terror. If you're still listening to that voice, chaining yourself to a desk job or a half-lived life, ask yourself, how much longer will you let fear puppeteer your potential before it snaps the strings of your destiny? Delve into the anatomy of this trap, and you'll see fear isn't a fleeting emotion. It's a systematic saboteur engineered to preserve the status quo at the expense of your greatness. It manifests in subtle ways: the hesitation before pitching that game, changing idea, the avoidance of the gym because sweat means vulnerability, or the silence when you should speak up and claim what's yours. This voice paints pictures of catastrophe, rejection sting, failure's bruise, pain's unrelenting grip to keep you huddled in the familiar. But here's the professional truth. Delivered straight from Tate's playbook, real growth isn't a gentle stroll, it's a brutal confrontation where you lock eyes with your deepest dreads and declare war. Tate didn't build his legacy by sidestepping shadows. He plunged into them, negotiating deals that could have ruined him, training through injuries that would sideline warriors, and publicly dismantling naysayers with unshakable resolve. Fear tried to chain him, but he shattered those links, proving that every legend is hammered in the forge of discomfort, where the heat of challenge tempers steel into something invincible. Visualize it now, this invisible battle raging inside you. You're at the edge of a cliff. On one side, the plush valley of routine, promising no falls but no heights either. On the other, the jagged peaks of possibility, wind howling with the promise of triumph if you leap. Fear grips your collar, whispering tales of those who've tumbled, but Tate's story roars louder. He leaped from the ring's brutality to boardrooms of billionaires, facing rejection after rejection until doors flew open. Those he mentors echo this. Men who once cowered from cold calls now close multi-million deals. Women who dodged the spotlight now command stages. The discomfort, it's the price of entry, the raw friction that builds muscle in your mind and fire in your soul. Hook yourself on this. Embracing fear doesn't mean it vanishes. It means you ride it like a thoroughbred, turning its energy into your gallop toward dominance. Stay sidelined, and you'll watch from the bleachers as bolder souls claim the glory you were born for. Professional excellence demands you dismantle this fuel of the trap methodically, identify fears, lies through journaling your hesitations, expose them by taking micro risks like a cold outreach or an early workout, and starve it with consistent action that proves its predictions wrong. Tate's life is the blueprint. He transformed terror into fuel, emerging not just unbroken, but unbreakable, a beacon for those ready to step up. Face the rejection, court the failure. Invite the pain. That's where the chains dissolve and your true power ignites, propelling you from prisoner to conqueror in a world that rewards the fearless. Picture the graveyard of forgotten dreams, filled not with tombstones, but with the hollow shells of people who settled for good enough. A chilling hook to jolt you awake. Average isn't a neutral ground. It's a death sentence, a slow erosion that turns vibrant lives into faded echoes, leaving you buried under the weight of unclaimed potential. Andrew Tate, rising from the gritty underbelly of nothing to command stages and fortunes, didn't stumble into greatness by accepting the ordinary. He scorched it, grinding through nights of doubt until victory became his inevitable reality. If you're coasting on the fumes of complacency, nodding at promotions that barely pay the bills or relationships that spark no fire, pause and confront this. Settling for average isn't living. It's a premeditated surrender, dooming your body to weakness, your finances to drought, and your spirit to a perpetual twilight where true fulfillment withers unseen. Examine the ripple effects of this insidious choice, and the picture sharpens into a professional warning worth heeding. Comfort zones, those deceptive havens of routine, breed stagnation like a neglected garden overrun by weeds. Your physique softens from skipped workouts, morphing into a vessel too frail for the battles ahead. Your bank account trickles to survival mode as bold investments gather dust. And worst of all, your inner drive fades into apathy, replaced by the numb haze of scrolling and small talk. Tate's journey illuminates the escape. He rejected the average fighter's path, pushing past losses that would break most, evolving from a contender to a conqueror who now mentors empires. Those who emulate him, entrepreneurs ditching safe salaries for ventures that demand everything, athletes trading lounging for laps that burn, witness the transformation firsthand. Their bodies harden into machines of discipline, wallets swell with calculated risks, and spirits ignite with purpose. But linger in average, and regret becomes your shadow, whispering taunts of roads not taken. Hook into this urgency. Every day you choose good enough. You're not just pausing progress. You're accelerating toward a legacy of what if, where the extraordinary prizes go to those who dared to demand more. Envision the divide vividly. On one side, the masses milling in the fog of mediocrity, content with 9 to 5 chains and weekend escapes that mask the void. On the other, the elite like Tate, who treat average as poison and pursue excellence with the ferocity of a predator. He didn't grind until victory was inevitable by accident. Cold mornings in the gym, negotiations that tested his soul, public stands against the tide, all forged in the refusal to be ordinary. Professionals in boardrooms echo this. Those who settle for baseline performance watch promotions sail past, while the relentless ones, stacking skills and networks like bricks in a fortress, ascend to pinnacles of influence and wealth. Your life hangs in this balance. What's the hard path calling you to? That business idea simmering in your mind, the fitness regimen you've outlined but ignored, the bold move to a new city. Each represents a fork where average leads to erosion, but commitment carves canyons of achievement. Tate's blueprint screams it reject the ordinary not as a slogan, but as a daily decree, watching as your world shifts from mundane monotony to a canvas of triumphs that ordinary eyes can't comprehend. Choose the hard path now, because the clock ticks mercilessly and average's grip tightens with every unchallenged day. Fuel your ascent by auditing your routines. Swap the easy wins for stretches that ache, the safe bets for leaps that exhilarate, and feel the shift weakness yields to power, scarcity to abundance, dimness to blaze. Tate rose by embodying this truth, turning nothing into everything through unyielding pursuit. Embrace the grind, and your ordinary unravels into extraordinary, a testament to the life you were meant to seize. Here's the raw hook that should slap you across the face. Escaping the comfort zone isn't some ethereal dream you pin on a vision board. It's a gritty, daily war against the lazy beast inside you, demanding you swap excuses for execution before another sunrise slips away. Andrew Tate didn't whisper his way to supercars and sovereignty. He waged relentless battles, ditching the snooze button for dawn assaults on his limits, hoisting weights that screamed defiance, and pursuing deals that could have crushed him, but instead crowned him king. If you're still rationalizing your stagnation, blaming traffic for skipped workouts, or bad timing for unlaunched ideas, wake up action isn't optional. It's the forge where weak habits die and empires are born. Start small if the mountain looms, but ignite the spark now, because every deliberate push beyond the familiar carves the foundation of the unbreakable legacy you've always craved but never claimed. Grasp the essence of this battle, and you'll see excuses as the comfort zone's deadliest weapon. Slick saboteurs that masquerade as reason, keeping you parked while the world accelerates. They slither in during those pivotal moments the alarm blares, but 5 more minutes. Wins and opportunity knocks, but I'm not ready. Slams the door, your body ache is from yesterday's grind. Yet rest is best, pulls you back to the couch. Tate's blueprint exposes the lie. He built his dominance through unyielding execution, training through blizzards of fatigue, negotiating under fire until breakthroughs became routine, proving that success isn't a lottery, but a ledger of consistent strikes against laziness. Professionals who thrive echo this. Executives who cold call prospects daily close empires, athletes who log miles before excuses rise dominate fields, creators who script and edit through doubt amass audiences. But dwell in delay, and your potential rusts, muscles atrophy, networks fray, visions fade into footnotes. Hook into this fire, every excuse you entertain isn't a pause, it's a theft, robbing you of the compound interest of action that turns novices into titans overnight. Visualize the transformation unfolding in real time, because this war isn't abstract, it's your next hour, your tomorrow. Envision Tate in the trenches, no entourage, just him versus the void, lifting heavier each rep, not because it felt good, but because quitting felt worse. He chased terrifying deals, ventures that risk everything, executing with the precision of a surgeon, turning fear into fuel. Now apply it, audit your day like a general scouting enemy lines. Skip the snooze by placing your alarm across the room, forcing feet to floor and momentum to build. Lift those weights, even if it's just 10 minutes, feeling the burn as proof you're alive and advancing. Chase the deal that terrifies, email that influencer, pitch that product, network at events where you feel out of place. Because discomfort is the currency of conquest. Those Tate mentors, once excuse-ridden, now stack wins. One launched a side hustle from garage tinkering into 7 figures. Another rebuilt a physique that commands respect. The small starts snowball. A single push up becomes a regimen. A hesitant outreach blooms into alliances, erecting the unbreakable empire brick by relentless brick. What's your first strike? That idea you've shelved. Execute it today, or watch it evaporate like morning mist. Professional mastery hinges on this relentless rhythm. Treat action as non-negotiable, excuses as the enemy to eradicate. Tate's life thunders the truth. He didn't wish for Bugattis. He executed paths to them, grinding until the ordinary shattered. Fuel your charge by tracking wins in a journal, celebrating micro victories to starve the laziness, and scaling as confidence surges. Every boundary you breach fortifies you, turning the daily battle into a symphony of supremacy where you don't just survive, you reign. Rise and execute. The empire awaits those who act without apology. Let this hook pierce your soul like a dagger in the dark. Cling to your comfort zone, and you'll awaken in the twilight of your years to a life riddled with what-ifs. Missed fortunes that could have lined your coffers, unbuilt bodies that might have commanded respect, unlived adventures that promised the rush of true freedom. Andrew Tate, the architect of his own ascent from obscurity to opulence, issues this stark warning: comfort doesn't cradle you gently. It crafts walking corpses, hollow husks pretending at thriving while their dreams rot in the shadows. If you're still nestled in that deceptive embrace, scrolling away evenings instead of scripting your empire, or nodding through days in a job that drains without reward, face the mirror. Regret isn't a distant storm, it's the gathering thunder of choices deferred, and the weak who ignore it end up drowned in its flood, their potential a graveyard of ghosts. Unpack the anatomy of this agony, and the professional imperative becomes crystal clear. Regret festers like an untreated wound in the comfort zone's stagnant air, starting as a whisper of doubt, but swelling into a roar that echoes through empty achievements. Picture the entrepreneur who shelved his startup for stability, only to watch peers soar while his savings dwindle and his fire fades, or the athlete who chose couches over circuits, now staring at a reflection softened by surrender, haunted by podiums he never claimed. Tate's path diverges sharply. He refused regret's siren call, grinding through rejections that would shatter glass jaws, investing sweat in ventures that terrified him, and emerging not scarred but sculpted, a living testament to demanding excellence over excuses. Those he inspires follow suit, men rebuilding physiques after years of neglect, stacking muscle and mindset to silence the inner critic, women launching passions into profitable realities, trading someday for says today. But for the clingy, comfort's illusion unravels into torment. The fortune bypassed as inflation erodes your nest egg, the body unturned as health slips silently away, adventures unlived as routine calcifies into cage. Hook into this visceral truth, every unchallenged day isn't neutral. It's a deposit in regret's bank, compounding interest until you're bankrupt in spirit, paying premiums on a life half spent. Envision the fork in the road with unflinching clarity, one path, the well-trodden trail of ease, lined with billboards of could-have-beens, mansions you never built, networks you never wove, impacts you never ignited, each a milestone of missed mastery. The other, Tate's rugged descent, where pain becomes the chisel carving excellence from raw stone. He didn't craft a legacy by accident, cold plunges at dawn, boardroom battles that tested his core. Unapologetic stands against mediocrity, all woven into a tapestry that echoes across generations. Professionals attuned to this break free methodically, they audit regrets in waiting, like the stalled project or the ignored outreach, then charge forward with deliberate fury, transforming agony's threat into action's triumph. Demand excellence in the gym, where reps forge resilience against future frailty, in finances, where bold investments eclipse the poverty of passivity, in pursuits, where risks unlock realms beyond the ordinary. Tate warns of the pretenders, those corpses in suits smiling through voids they've dug themselves. But you, craft your echo now, journal the pains worth enduring, the efforts that eclipse unfulfilled echoes, and watch legacy take shape, resonant and real. The pain of effort, sharp as it bites, pales against regret's eternal gnaw, a truth Tate embodies in every empire he erects. Fuel your break by embracing discomfort as the architect of immortality, lift heavier, pitch fiercer. Explore bolder, demanding from yourself what the weak forfeit. In this forge, regrets dissolve, replaced by a life that thunders, fortune secured, bodies unbreakable, adventures etched in victory. Rise and demand, your legacy hungers for the strong. Ignite this ultimate hook like a fuse to your dormant empire. The brutal truth screams from every corner of existence. Comfort is the domain of slaves, content to kneel in shadows, while true power erupts in the wild chaos beyond the bars, where kings are crowned and cowards crumble. Andrew Tate doesn't merely survive, he reigns supreme. His freedom a hard-won fortress built not on whispers of ease, but on the thunder of war, declared against his own weaknesses. Proving that the throne awaits only those bold enough to claim it through merciless execution. If you're still chained to the cage of routine, waking to the same dim script, trading hours for scraps, letting opportunities evaporate like smoke, seize this moment. You're not built for the herd's pasture. You're forged for greatness, a latent monarch itching to dominate. Prove it now by kicking down the door to that confining illusion and stepping into the arena where real power pulses, raw and unrelenting. Peel back the layers of this revelation, and the professional clarity hits like a spotlight on a stage of destiny. Comfort zones masquerade as sanctuaries, but they're slave quarters, lulling you with false peace while the world outside roars with conquests reserved for the unchained. Tate embodies the escape. He chose the battlefield over the blanket, training in the dead of night when exhaustion begged mercy, forging deals in storms of skepticism that would drown the timid, emerging not just alive but exalted, a beacon of sovereignty that mentors legions to their own ascents. Those who heed him rise in tandem, executives shedding corporate leashes to helm ventures that reshape industries, Athletes ditching sidelines for spotlights of supremacy, creators blasting past doubt to build audiences that echo their command. Chaos isn't chaos to the prepared. It's the canvas where power paints masterpieces, turning vulnerability into velocity, hesitation into hegemony. But linger in the cage, and slavery solidifies. Influence evaporates, wealth stagnates, purpose petrifies into pretense. Hook into this electric charge. True power isn't inherited. It's ignited in the fray, where every dodged battle dims your crown, and every embraced storm polishes it to blinding shine. Visualize your coronation unfolding with cinematic force, because this rise isn't myth, it's your blueprint to execute today. Tate's saga unfolds in vivid strokes, no silver spoon, just sweat-soaked resolve, choosing the warpath from a basement's gloom to global stages, executing without apology as Bugattis and billions materialize from the void. Now, script your own epic. Audit the cage's bars, the job that clips your wings, the habits that hobble your stride, the fears that feign as friends, and shatter them with surgical strikes. Ignite the fire at dawn with rituals that roar defiance. Cold immersion to awaken the warrior, strategic outreach to weave networks of influence, bold investments that court the unknown. Execute without mercy, as Tate demands, track progress like a general mapping territory. Pivot from setbacks as fuel for fiercer advances. Surround yourself with allies who amplify your ascent rather than echo your excuses. Professionals who dominate follow this code. They leave the cage by design, claiming thrones in boardrooms, gyms, and beyond, their worlds bending to the will of the unleashed. You're no exception. Built with the sinew of sovereignty, the spark of supremacy, now fan it to inferno. Leaving mediocrity's ruins in your wake. Tate lives free because he waged that inner war and won. A testament that chaos yields to the conqueror who charges unyielding. Fuel your dominion by embracing the tumult as teacher. Every risk embraced elevates you. Every boundary breached builds your bastion, turning the slave's shuffle into the king's stride. Claim your throne. The world bows to those who rise without restraint, proving greatness not in words, but in the empires they erect from the ashes of comfort's deceit. So, here's my final hook to burn into your brain. The brutal truth about the comfort zone is that it's the enemy of every king in the making. Step out today, face the fire, and watch your empire rise from the ashes. You've got the blueprint from a man who's done it. Now go execute or stay mediocre forever. The choice is yours, but choose wisely, because time doesn't wait for cowards. Hustle harder.